some of the basics of the startup screen so people have an understanding of some of the differences between the previous versions of zombies and this one. The first biggest one I'm going to tell everybody right now, there is no Juggernaut anymore. However, they do have a perk system that goes in these 4 slots that you can take in to preset which perks you can use during a match of zombies. And you can make 5, actually, let me get it right. There are 6 different slots you can use. The names of them actually don't matter. I mean, they probably already have something that technically kind of goes with it, but you can customize each one of these. They're basically just placeholders and names instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I use Guardian, for example. I'm going to go over these perks first. In the perks menu, these are your perks. Time Slip. It speeds up your equipment cooldown rate. Grenades, whatever it is you got. I like using the sentry gun. It also makes the mystery box and pack-a-punch weapons appear faster. Greatly reduced trap and fast travel cooldowns. Okay, that means the traps and the random portals you find around the world, they will recharge for you faster. And when it says that the mystery box and pack-a-punch weapons appear faster, that means it scrolls through after you actually use the box and gives you your weapon a little quicker. That's what that means. Quick Revive is a shorter delay before regenerating health and increased regeneration rate. Revive players faster. It's pretty self-explanatory. Death Perception. See nearby enemies through walls. Receive screen indicators when enemies approach the player from off-screen. And actually, I'm going to go back and do something. These first 3 slots here are generic, and every slot has these basic abilities. But I'm going to switch to Odin real quick, and I'm going to go over Time Slip, Quick Revive, and Death Perception one more time. Because if you notice, the Odin slot also has a special ability that goes on top of the original ability. For Time Slip, its special weapon charge rate and elixir cooldown rate are slightly increased. I'll be going over the special weapons and the elixirs later. After these, anyway. Quick Revive is gain a movement speed boost after health regeneration starts. Reviving grants both players full health and a movement speed boost. So instead of just being able to pick them up faster and an increased regeneration rate, you get full health and a movement speed bonus. That's the pretty simple version of it. Death Perception gives you deal increased damage to special enemy weak points. I'll be going over special enemies at another time, but basically you'll notice that after waves 14, 15, you have this crawler thing. It deals extra damage to that when you hit the weak points. In 9, you have armored gladiators, and you can shoot off their arms to kill them, but that also requires blasting the actual armor off of it. But it deals bonus damage to those kinds of things. Now, Stamina, a lot of you are familiar with that already. Increased movement speed, movement, and sprint speed. Stamina regenerates faster. Okay. The modifier on Odin is unlimited full sprint. Player can fire weapons while sprinting. Pretty self-explanatory. Electric Burst. Reloading stores an electric charge to the player's melee weapon. The next melee attack empowers the weapon to shock enemies for a limited time. The more empty the magazine, the longer the time. That's the modifier. On top of an already reloading causes an electrical discharge that damages and stuns nearby enemies. The more empty the magazine, the stronger the damage. So with the modifier, it actually increases the time and allows you to store one to hit with your next melee attack as well. Now, Dying Wish. This is one that I find very, very useful. Instead of entering Last Stand, the player goes Berserk for 9 seconds. While Berserk, They are invulnerable, and melee damage is greatly increased. Afterwards, the player is left with 1 health. Cooldown increases with every use. Now, when you use it on the Odin slot and activate it, you'll actually get full health instead of just the 1 HP. Stone Cold Stronghold. Standing your ground, meaning stop moving, hold your position, will create a defensive circle, which boosts your damage and armor over time while inside. Now, when you use it on the Odin slot, enemies killed inside of the defensive circle do the same thing. They also increase your damage and armor. Victorious Tortoise. Shields block damage from all directions when held. When a shield breaks, it will trigger a defensive explosion. And when you have it on the Odin slot, you can knock down heavy and mini boss enemies. Now the shield is something from other previous games as well, but from what I see, it is in every map. You can actually assemble the shield in every map. The locations are randomized. Deadshot Dealer, aiming down sight, snaps to the enemy's head. Reduce tip spread and recoil in firing. Removes scope sway. Gain a damage boost when on a headshot streak when you have the modifier on. Bandolier Bandit. Carry increased ammo stock. Refill ammo of stowed weapon from ammo stock over time when you have it on the Odin slot. Winter's Wail. When hit by a melee attack, generate a frost explosion that will freeze or slow enemies. Player can store 2 charges. Now when you have it on Odin slot, a frost explosion triggers a slowing field around the player for a limited time. Stores an additional charge. Mule Kick, one of my favorites. Carry an additional primary weapon. The Odin modifier says switch weapons faster. The additional weapon will be saved and restored on the next Mule Kick perk purchase. Now that can be useful if you're using Mule Kick as a heavy thing, but I would much rather have Odin for the Dying Wish or something with a little more damage or armor boost to it. The PhD Slider. Slide to build up a charge. Once fully charged, slide into an enemy to trigger an explosion. Gain resistance to explosive damage. Alright, now, when you have it on the Odin slot, you actually slide a little further. You gain trap immunity while sliding. Increased explosion damage when entering a slide from greater heights. So if you slide off of a jump or a drop off or something, you can get a little more. And the last one is Secret Sauce. Receive a random perk not assigned to another slot. And the modifier on the Odin slot is just whatever it would be for that slot. That's pretty self-explanatory, and most people don't like it. Next thing I'm going to go over is the special weapons. I prefer the Viper and Dragon. They're kind of cool. The Viper and Dragon is got a pistol that's kind of like sort of acts like it shoots grenades. Hits a small explosion, destroys all the enemies in a small area. Fires pretty quick, and from what I noticed as you go through the 3 stages, it actually fires a bit faster. And the sword is used on the main hand on the R2 side, gun on the L2, and you can just kind of hack and blast them away. I've not really messed with a lot of the other ones. The Scepter of Ra, it kind of has a laser on it. The hammer's pretty cool. I'm not sure what its range is, but what its range attack is, but it pretty good for taking out enemies and pretty good arc right in front of you. And I've known nothing about the chakrams yet. But apparently you can throw it, you can throw one, and you can melee with the other. You'll unlock one of the 5 equipment as you go. I haven't found much use for Acid Bomb. Frag's okay. Claymores can be useful. But Wraithfire, I think that's probably the second most useful one I've run across so far. Maybe even the first. You throw it down and it burns. Burns a blue flame. And while that flame is going, people can walk through it. But all the zombies that walk through it burn up. And you can actually take out a nice sized group if you've got them bottlenecked. Sentry is quickly becoming one of my favorite. It says they're low damage shots, but even on higher waves, I'm noticing the Sentry can really still take a lot of the swallows out really quick. As you go through and level up your actual profile, not each weapon, that's a separate thing, you unlock the ability to start with these different guns: the Welling, the Strife, the RK7, and the Mark 12 under secondaries. But at about level 16, I think it is, you can actually start with this, which is attack rifle. And for the first 3-4 waves, just about every headshot's a kill, even after that. At level 44, I believe it was, you finally unlock starting with this SMG, and it's really useful. And Elixirs. Okay, you'll notice I have one yellow one, and I'll go over that later because that comes with the whole laboratory thing. But Elixirs, these green ones, I'm not sure what the time is on them. The green ones here are unlocked as you go. I don't know what the cooldown rate is on it, but I do know that you can at least use more than one of them. I haven't really played with it or paid attention enough to know if I can use it more than once, but I'm sure there's other people who can explain it a little better than I can. But you also have ones that you can get to the laboratory and you pick up that are one-time use, and they're much more versatile. I'm not going to go over each one of these elixirs because we'll be here forever. But you got a whole list of them here. You could be ignored by zombies for 10 seconds, all kinds of cool stuff. But keep in mind, if you use anything besides the classic ones, they are consumed, and you'll have to be lucky enough to get another one out of the laboratory. There's rare, there's legendary ones. This is a really nice one, wall power here. It's one to keep note of. If you use that elixir right before you buy a weapon off the wall, it'll come out pack-a-punched. I mean, it'll come out fully powered up. So that's really cool. Now, talismans. They're different from elixirs because they are consumed at the start of the match, and they have more of a permanent kind of thing throughout that match. Like this one reduces the pack-a-punch cost. This one will increase your last stand duration for the entirety of the match. This one starts the match with an SMG. You don't need that if you're a higher level. Yeah, see, it reduces the cost of things throughout the match. Different things like that. None of these are reusable. They are all used up the instant you get in. And that's it for the introduction to these. There is a second loadout system for Ether, but it works exactly the same. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be doing more videos on locations and different things in Black Ops 4 here for like the pack-a-punch and all that good stuff. So I'll go over that in other videos, and I hope this helps you guys get set up a little better. You can go through and check out all the different ones, and if I missed something or I got something wrong, let me know. Thanks for watching.